Good evening. My name is Dr. Holly Couturier, and I'm the Executive Director for the Maine Principal Association's Professional Division. Tonight, we honor the very important and significant role that principals, assistant principals, secretaries, coaches, and school volunteers play in Maine schools. While we are recognizing a number of individuals this evening, we are in fact honoring all educators, dedicated, hardworking, often taken for granted, those who work diligently and selflessly on behalf of all young people in our schools. These have been exceptional times, and as expected, you have not only risen to the incredible challenges, but you have kept a smile on your face while supporting your community, staff, and students. And for this, we commend you. On behalf of the entire staff at the MPA, thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for your service to the association. Thank you for making a difference where it counts, in schools and classrooms and communities across our state. I want to especially thank Fred Grant and WHOU for making tonight's ceremony possible for friends, families, and colleagues all around the world by streaming this event live. Thank you. To celebrate these outstanding educators with us this evening from the Maine Department of Education, our Maine Commissioner of Education, Pender Macon, and Deputy Commissioner, Dan Chuda. Pender and Dan, welcome.
Thank you, Holly, and thank you everybody at MPA for your partnership and for the leadership that you provide for the people who, in my opinion, in our state are doing the most challenging frontline work in these absurd, ongoingly unprecedented conditions of a global pandemic. I guess I would just want to say that I'm honored to be able to be part of the welcome for your event, and congratulations to those who will be honored. And thank you for your tireless work on behalf of your students and your staff members and your communities. I know that it is an extraordinarily challenging time, and anything we can do with the Department of Education, we kind of have an open door, or at least a Zoom door. So feel free, reach out to us and let us know if we can be doing something better or more. Whatever it is that we can do to support you, that's what we're here for. We are a committed to service-oriented organization, and we're big fans of your work. And because I would leave you with this quote from apparently it's FDR, and it says here, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." So you guys are all ready to captain yourselves off to, on yachts across the world at this point, I guess I would say, based on that little premise. I hope that you're finding gems in the rubble that is this extraordinary and challenging time. And here's Dan Chuda.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Holly, for having us this evening. I want to echo the Commissioner's gratitude for all of you and express my congratulations. We both were working in schools before we came to our roles, and so we have worked literally, for myself, I've worked elbow to elbow with one of you on here, and know the critical role that you play in schools, and just know that we recognize that you and your colleagues on a quote unquote normal year, how important your roles are, and even more so in this year, making the decisions you have been making, getting information from all different angles, and sometimes conflicting, sometimes not quite the news maybe you wanted to hear, but again, congratulations. You have been selected for well-deserved honor, and we just want to be part of the group of folks from around the state that are embracing you and celebrating you. So congratulations again, and enjoy a not so pretty looking evening outside. This celebration brings some light and warmth to the evening. So congratulations.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Dan and Pender. We definitely appreciate you being a part of our special evening. And if I might just add my little bit, if we were doing it at the Samoset, we wouldn't have any windows. And right now I'm looking out mine, not seeing any snow, and I do see green grass. So I'm thinking that that's pretty spectacular. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our co-hosts for this evening's program. Paula Callan, principal of Messalonsky High School and your MPA president, as well as our president-elect, Lori Smale, principal of the Weymouth and Ames Elementary Schools. Thank you very much.
Good evening, and thank you, Holly. As president of the Maine Principals Association, I have the honor and great privilege of co-presiding over this very special evening. This event gives us the opportunity as a group to recognize and celebrate the achievements of many outstanding educational leaders.
Tonight, we are honoring the NFHS State Award recipient for outstanding service, 2 National Coaches of the Year, 3 recipients of the Larry Labrie Award for outstanding contributions to interscholastic division, 2 recipients of the Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award, the MPA Secretary of the Year, NASSP Assistant Principal of the Year, the NAESP National Outstanding Assistant Principal, NAESP National Distinguished Principal, and the NASSP Principal of the Year. We begin this evening by recognizing the National Federation of State High School Associations State Award for Outstanding Service. This year's recipient is Dr. William Hines, Chair of the MPA Sports Medicine Advisory Committee. In 2004, Dr. Hines was a founding member of the MPA Sports Medicine Advisory Committee and has continued working with the committee for the past 16 years. During his time, the MPA SMAC has developed a positive working relationship with all of the individual sports committees, helping them develop guidelines and policies for their particular sport. He has served as the team doctor for many of the high schools in Southern Maine, as well as many college and professional teams. Since March 2020, he has worked closely with the health agencies in Maine and was instrumental in the development of the school sports guidance return to competition for competitive athletics and activities in Maine, as well as working with each sport committee to develop their return to play guidelines. He continues to assist the Maine Music Education Association in their development of guidance that allows meaningful music education to be brought safely into our schools during this pandemic. Dr. Hines has served on several NFHS committees, most recently serving on the NFHS AMSSM task force on the potential cardiopulmonary effects of COVID-19. It is with great pleasure to welcome Dr. William Hines. Dr. Hines?
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I got to tell you, I am truly honored and humbled to be awarded this NFHS State Award for outstanding service. And I want to thank the MPA for considering me for this award. I have to apologize. I don't have the award to show to you. I'm still in Florida, and the award was sent to my home in Freeport, so I don't have it to actually show it off. This award really deserves to be given to my entire Sports Medicine Advisory Committee. These individuals have really gone above and beyond this last year, working to make sports and activities happen during the pandemic. Typically, our committee meets 3 times a year, but this year we've been meeting every 2 to 3 weeks in order to work out details and guidelines to allow sports and activity to occur. And we've had nearly 100% attendance at all of these committee meetings, which really shows the dedication to sports, athletic, and activities that these committee members have. So on behalf of my entire committee, I want to accept this award and want to thank the MPA for recognizing us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Hines. And again, congratulations. Next, we recognize not one, but two National Coaches of the Year. Recognized by the National Federation of State High School Associations, the first person we recognize tonight is Mary Beth Burgoyne. Mary Beth graduated from Winslow High School in 1987. She then went on to graduate from the University of Maine in 1991 with a Bachelor of Science degree in education and then a master's in education instructional technology in 2018. She is currently working on obtaining her education science CAS, also in instructional technology. Mary Beth has been identified as the KVAC Field Hockey Coach of the Year for 2007, 2012, 2013, 14, and 17. She was recognized by Central Maine Newspaper's Field Hockey Coach of the Year in 2014 and again in 2019. The Portland Press Herald Field Hockey Coach of the Year in 2019, and the Maine Varsity Female Sports Coach of the Year in 2020. Also in 2020, she was awarded Winslow's Board of Education Faculty Award. Mary Beth is married to Jim Burgoyne, and together they have two children, Connor and Joanne. A fun fact about Mary Beth is that Navision Diamond at Winslow High School is named after her father, Jack. It is with great honor that we recognize Mary Beth Burgoyne, National Coach of the Year.
Thanks, Paula. Good evening. I want to sincerely thank the Maine Principals Association and the National Federation of High School Sports for this incredible honor. I am truly humbled by it and very grateful for it. I also want to give a big thanks to Winslow High School and the Winslow community for supporting the sport of field hockey with such great enthusiasm. I am so proud to be part of this wonderful program that I've been able to coach for over 20 years, and also as a player many years ago. And also, Dave, congratulations to you on your honor as well. There are many people that have really helped me get to where I am today. First of all, I want to give a big thanks to my family. My husband, Jim, who also serves as my sports psychologist regularly. My two children, Connor and Joe, for embracing and supporting my passion for the sport and supporting me throughout my coaching career. And watching my daughter play this sport with such great beauty was an added bonus for me. I am also very lucky to have two amazing parents, Jack and Joanne Nivison, that fully supported me when, as a young girl, wanted to play basketball and baseball with the boys, and never did they try to steer me away from athletics. And through my dad, I was introduced to the amazing sport of field hockey. While in grade school, my after-school care program consisted of me literally walking across the street to the junior high to hang out with my dad, who served as the athletic director for Winslow Junior High, and I watched sports all the time. The sport I knew I could not wait to get to play in junior high was field hockey, for we didn't have any feeder programs back then. I loved watching the girls play and seeing the highly skilled game in action. Being a competitor, the idea of learning the many intricacies of the skills needed to perform and play this sport was a challenge that I could not wait to take on. I also want to give a big thank you to my 6 siblings and their spouses and their children, and I have a lot of nieces and nephews, for their continued support, encouragement, and excitement for Winslow field hockey. I always get the most supportive messages from them, and I'm very fortunate to have them cheering me on in person and from afar. An honor like this is not achieved without an amazing staff. I've been so blessed, and I'm so thankful to have many assistant coaches by my side: Cheryl Winkin, Lori Fredette, Lisa Larrabee, just to name a few, that are also honored by this award. I also have been able to become a much better coach through my Maine Majestics family, working and learning from Amy and Brian Bonacci, Katie McCabe, Andrea Tabarge, and Kelly Terwilliger has been a great bonus for me as a coach. And of course, my players, many of which began playing for me when they were in pre-K. I had one actually start when she was 3. All those young women who I have had the great opportunity to learn from and grow with, really do have a special place in my heart. Each and every one of them has made an impact on how I have grown as a coach. I, like every other coach, have made mistakes along the way, and it has been through these players that have helped me learn from them and helped me to grow. I absolutely love the sport of field hockey and strive every day to share that love with my players. Coaching high school sports provides an opportunity and a responsibility to help young people learn and develop the skills necessary to lead healthy and successful lives off the playing field and after their playing days have ended. I try to convey to my players that in sports, as in life, we can accomplish so much more when we work together, regardless of any differences we have. Finally, I consider coaching to be a great privilege. Parents have given me the privilege to teach their daughter that they love the sport that I love. Coaching is also a privilege, not only for the opportunity to hopefully have a positive impact on the lives of the players I coach, but even more of a privilege to learn from them as well. Not only about the sport of field hockey, but also about the great life lessons team sports can provide for people. Thank you again for this amazing honor.
Thank you, Mary Beth, and again, congratulations. The next honoree this evening is David Halligan, Jr. David graduated from Falmouth High School in 1970. From there, he attended the University of Maine, Portland Gorham, and graduated from the University of Maine in 1975 with a Bachelor of Science degree in education. He then went on to earn his master's in education, also from the University of Maine, in 1978. Mr. Halligan coached several sports, including JV boys soccer for both Greeley and Cape Elizabeth high schools, freshman girls basketball for Deering High School, varsity boys soccer in Cape Elizabeth and Falmouth, JV boys baseball, assistant boys baseball, and varsity girls softball, all at Falmouth High School. David has been recognized as the National Soccer Coaches Association National High School Coach of the Year in 1998. NSCAA Regional Coach of the Year in 1998 and 2010, the Maine Soccer Coaches Coach of the Year in 1998, 2000, 2001, and 2009. The Portland Press Herald Maine Sunday Telegram Coach of the Year in 2020, the Falmouth Forecaster Coach of the Year in 2003, 2006, 2012, and 2019. And the NFHS National, Regional, and State Coach of the Year in 2020. Mr. Halligan was inducted into the Maine Basketball Hall of Fame in 2020. He has led teams to 12 state soccer championships, 13 regional championships, and 14 league championships. It is an honor to recognize Mr. David Halligan Jr., National Coach of the Year. Mr. Halligan, if you can hear me, it is your turn to have the floor, sir.
I pressed my mute and video button, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Mary Beth did such a great job. Can I just say ditto? She did an outstanding job. I thought it was very appropriate that the commissioner used FDR's quote, yachts across the world, considering we're from Falmouth here. I would first like to congratulate all the other award winners and to say thank you to them all for what they do for Maine students. I think Maine is a special place to teach and coach and live, and we have some special people that make it that way. I want to thank you to the National Federation of High Schools for this recognition. And I want to thank my family, especially my wife, Joy, for allowing me to take the time to do the things that I love, which is the coaching. I want to thank the Maine Principals Association, the director and staff of the Interscholastic Division, and I am humbled and honored that the MPA would even consider and nominate me for this special award. I want to give special thanks to my fellow coaching staff members who I consider co-coaches with me. And I would like to share this with them. That would include Todd Whitcomb, Sasha Vukasalovich, Cooper Higgins, and Mark Rand. Also, Mark Peterson. Mark Rand was a former player of mine. I want to thank our athletic department, Rob Sullivan and James Coffey. They provide us with the things that we need to run an outstanding first-class program here at Falmouth. Most important, I would like to thank my players. They are the ones who, through their commitment to excellence and effort, both on and off the field, brought about such a successful season for us. It didn't happen in just 1 year. These boys have been playing since they were 8 and 9 years old, and I was very proud of them to see the culmination of their success with a state championship in 2020. I am just as proud of their accomplishment in the classroom. Not only did they win a state championship, but also received a National Team Academic Award from the United Soccer Coaches Association. I think what I'm most proud is they do things the right way. They are student athletes, not just athletes, but student athletes. I consider this more than an individual award. I consider this an award for the program. I consider it also an award for the state of Maine. To be recognized at the national level, I think shows that we do things the right way, thanks to the Maine Principals Association and the programs that they provide for us. And I think this honors all the programs that we have, the athletic programs we have in the state of Maine. I want to thank everybody from the players, the coaches, the school, and the community. And again, I want to thank you for this recognition. Thank you.
Congratulations again, David, and thank you. Our next award this evening is the Larry Labrie Award for outstanding contributions to the Interscholastic Division. This award was created by the Interscholastic Management Committee to honor former Assistant Executive Director Larry Labrie, who retired in June 2008 after 16 years of service to the association. The award recognizes individuals who make outstanding contributions to the Interscholastic Division of the Maine Principals Association. With us to honor tonight's recipient of the Larry Labrie Award for Outstanding Contributions to Interscholastic Division is Larry's daughter, Beth Labrie. Beth?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Beth Labrie, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight to represent my father, Larry Labrie. He was a teacher, coach, and administrator in the Auburn Public Schools for 25 years, culminating with the position of principal of Everett Little High School for 8 years. Larry left Everett Little High School in 1992 to become an assistant executive director at the MPA. He served in that capacity for 16 years, retiring in 2008. During his years at the MPA, he was known for his work in coordinating many state championships in a wide variety of sports across the state, advocating for expanded opportunities for women in sports, and building relationships as a mentor with athletic directors and principals throughout the state. It is this role as a mentor that was one of his favorites. Our family is honored to be a part of tonight's recognition of the recipients of the Larry Labrie Award for their contributions to the MPA activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. The first Larry Labrie Award recipient is Lynn Ruddy. Lynn graduated from Oshkosh West High School in Oshkosh, Wisconsin in 1972. She then attended the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, and earned her Bachelor of Science, majoring in physical education with an emphasis in aquatics, along with a minor in biology and one in health. In 1976, she worked at Bowdoin College. Since arriving at Bowdoin, she has been the assistant and head women's cross-country coach, the assistant and head of women's track and field, assistant coach of men's and women's swimming, head coach of softball and volleyball, director of intramurals and club sports, then the facilities coordinator in 1987. In 1986, she was named the assistant athletic director. In 1992, she was the senior women's administrator, and in 2001, she was named the associate athletic director. During this time, she was a meet director and referee for numerous MPA track and field championships held at Bowdoin College, as well as various other sites throughout the state. She served as the site director for both Class A and B MPA swim championships held at Bowdoin College since 2003. She has also served as the site director for KVAC track and field and swimming and diving championships held at Bowdoin College since 1989. Lynn has served on the NCAA Division III Track and Field Committee, served on the Brunswick Golf Course Board of Directors as the secretary for 11 years, and a golf course rater for the Southern Maine Women's Golf Association, and directed Brunswick Women's Golf Association member guest tournaments for 10 years. As of June 30th, 2021, Lynn plans on retiring from Bowdoin College. Lynn, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, we are pleased to present you with the 2021 Larry Labrie Award for Outstanding Service to the Interscholastic Division. Congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you, Lori. You've said just about most of the things I was going to say. So good evening, everyone. And I'd like to thank the Maine Principals Association Committee for selecting me to receive this year's Larry Labrie Award. I'd also like to congratulate all of tonight's honorees. My position at Bowdoin College as the athletic facility coordinator for the past 45 years has enabled me to meet and work alongside countless track and field and swimming and diving state championship directors and coaches. I've met many, many people while doing that, and it has been my pleasure to work with them. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, Whittier Field and the McGee Track was an annual site for MPA track and field state championships, for which I was either the director or officiated. For these championships, I served as either the meet director and or the site director. Those days, everything was done by hand. We didn't have computers or software programs to determine heats and final competitors, which is so much easier to do it today. Following the 1990s, I officiated at track and field championships, either as the running referee or the field referee, working alongside Diane Fournier and Don Berry. Greason Pool was opened in October of 1987. The following year, it became a site for high school state championships. To this day, Bowdoin continues to host Class A or Class B girls and boys swimming and diving championships. For several years, I enjoyed working with meet directors Chris Branch and his family, along with Scott Morrison as site directors for these championships. It has been my privilege to have met and worked with Larry Labrie many times throughout his tenure at the MPA. Recently, it has also been my pleasure to work with Jerry Durgin and Mike Bisson. I'm honored to receive the Larry Labrie Service Award this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for showing that plaque, and congratulations.
You're welcome.
Our second awardee is Shannon Whiting. Shannon graduated from Interlakes High School in Meredith, New Hampshire in 1979. She attended Husson College, where she obtained her Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, Recreation Management, her Master's of Science degree in Business Administration, and her certificate in Advanced Studies in Educational Leadership. Shannon has been a field hockey high school official for 34 years. She has served on the Maine Field Hockey Board of Directors from 1990 to 1999, the Maine Field Hockey Umpires Association Executive Board from 1999 to 2018, and during this time, she was a Maine Field Hockey State Rules Interpreter. She has run field hockey rules clinics for high school officials, field hockey clinics and camps for high school students, was the MSSPA site director for soccer state championships at Husson College, the MSSPA site director for swimming state championships, also at Husson, and was the site director for state cheerleading championships. Shannon officiated 23 games of the MSSPA Field Hockey Championship games, as well as 29 Eastern Northern Maine Championships, and was a high school varsity softball coach for a combined 14 years at Orono and St. John Baptist High Schools. She was the Maine Association of Intercollegiate Athletics for Women's Softball Coach of the Year in 1993 and 1994. Maine Athletic Conference Coach of the Year in 1994, and the NAIA District 5 Coach of the Year also in 1994. She was a collegiate field hockey official for 22 years and took her team to the Northeast Athletic Conference Field Hockey Championship for 14 years. Shannon has presented for the American Association of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance Conference, and for the Central and Southern Maine Guidance Counselors on Sports Management Curriculum. On behalf of the Maine Principals Association, we are pleased to present you, Shannon Whiting, with the 2021 Larry Labrie Award for Outstanding Service to the Interscholastic Division. Congratulations.
Good evening, and thank you, Lori. Those kind words. It sounds like I've been around for a little while, so very pleased to be here tonight, and I would like to congratulate all the honorees that were presented tonight. In particular, I'd like to congratulate Lynn and Pam for this Larry Labrie Award. When I received the voicemail from Mike Burnham a few weeks ago, I was sitting in my car after softball practice, and I was very taken aback that I was going to receive this award. It's an honor. I had the pleasure to work with Larry Labrie for 8 years when I first started being the field hockey rules interpreter for the state. And let's just say field hockey wasn't Larry's favorite sport, but after a few conversations, he was a real joy to work with, and he was always willing and able to try to help us out with field hockey, and that was always a pleasure. So it was an honor for me to be receiving his award tonight in his name. There are two people that I have to say that clearly I wouldn't be here tonight receiving this if it hadn't been for them. And one of them happens to be Pam Hennessy. For those of you who know Pam, she has been involved in field hockey and recruiting officials for a number of years. And so it was just about this time in 1984 that Pam came to me and said, I know that you played field hockey in high school. And so this summer, I'm going to work with you, and you can come to camp and you can officiate, and we'll study the rules, and I'll set up scrimmages for you, and we'll rate you in the fall. Now, yes, I did play field hockey in high school. My real sports were basketball, and I liked softball. And I knew two rules in field hockey. I knew that the whole ball had to go into the cage in order for it to score. I wasn't really into defense. And I also knew the offsides rule. And at that time, it was across the 50-yard line. And so those are my two rules that I knew. So I said to Pam, I know I'm not going to officiate. And then I made the statement, and you can't make me. Well, you can see that statement worked out well for me. Pam has this way, I would say that she's very direct and determined. And so 34 years later, I'm sitting here receiving this award. It was due to Pam's dedication. It was due to Pam's always had compassion, her teaching, her leadership, her mentoring, a lot of mentoring, her ability to critique. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And I wouldn't have been able to accomplish the things that I did in the NPA if it hadn't been for Pam. There was another mentor, though, who also helped me. And it's ironic that she also received this award, and she received it in 2008, and that was Gail, the late Gail Santerre. Gail gave me a little different perspective, and she always taught us or spoke to me that, you know, you had to enjoy what you were doing. And Gail did. And she worked hard with the MPA, but she also, she had passion, and she showed me that. And I never will forget this. Gail and I had a game. We were at Colby College, and it was just downpouring. And Colby was playing Tufts, and the Tufts coach always liked to think that she knew the rules pretty well. And I just started being the rule interpreter. And Gail said, you know, you got to make sure that you don't let people, you know, you just got to make sure you have a good time and understand they don't always, you know, have a good perspective. And she said, take a look at that sideline. That coach over there on that sideline has been chewing at us all half. And it's pouring rain, and she's standing in a mink coat. She doesn't have the best judgment. And I think I'll never forget that. And I thought, whenever it was, you know, a moment where we had to really buckle down and had to deal with some difficult things, I always remember what Gail said. You know, we always have to enjoy what we're doing, always come with passion, and realize that sometimes people don't always have the best judgment. And so when I went to officiate, these two people were true mentors, and I certainly wouldn't be here today without them. I would be very remiss if I didn't speak of Mike Burnham. I just worked with him a little bit longer than I worked with Larry, and it was always a pleasure. We would deal with our business, and then at the end of our conversation, we always spent time talking about his family, his daughter, or just life in general. And I really appreciate my time. But most of all, I'm extremely honored with this award tonight, and thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. It was wonderful. Thank you. Our final recipient of the 2021 Larry Labrie Award is Pamela Hennessy. Pam graduated from Coney High School in 1962. She went on to the University of Maine, where she earned her Bachelor of Science, Master of Science in Education, and her Certificate of Advanced Studies in Educational Leadership. Pam served as a basketball high school official for 17 years. This included the first Class A Girls State Championship. She was also softball high school official for 5 years and a field hockey high school official for 54 years. This includes more than 20 state championship games. She was the field hockey assigner for the Northern Maine for 36 years and president of Maine Field Hockey Umpire Association from 1999 to 2018. She has run summer field hockey workshops and camps for high school student athletes at the University of Maine, Augusta, and Husson colleges. She has also run the State of Maine Field Hockey Rules Clinics. Pam was a representative to the first MPA basketball committee for the girls tournament, served on the IAABO executive committee, and was the Maine State Field Hockey High School tournament director, as well as the site coordinator for several MSSPA events at Husson College for state swim meets, cheerleading, soccer, and field hockey. In 1993, Pam was given the State of Maine Leadership Award for Women's Athletic Administrators. In 1996, she was inducted into the Husson College Sports Hall of Fame, was named National Athletic Director of the Year, and the Northeast Region Athletic Director of the Year. She has been published in several journals and newsletters and has presented at multiple conferences, including the Women in Leadership Conference for the MPA. The University of Maine the Competition for Middle School Student Symposium, and the American Association of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance Conventions. Pam, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, we are pleased to present you with the 2021 Larry Labrie Award for Outstanding Service to Interscholastic Division. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I would like to thank the MPA for this recognition. It's very special to me. I certainly have had a great run in athletics. I've been involved in coaching and officiating and athletic administration for more than half a century. We'll leave it at that. My first affiliation really with the MPA was with basketball. It was when I was just starting my career at Hudson. Title IX passed, and the MPA was very proactive and wanted to bring girls into state tournaments. And so they had an initial meeting. They asked me if I would sit on the meeting, and we went to that plush office they had there on Western Avenue. They had a suite, and it was a suite. Probably 10 of us were at the meeting, and there was room for about 6. And there was no parking, but we got the job done. And we were able to bring the girls into their state tournament, which was a great thing for them. And I did have an opportunity as an official to work that first state championship. And I worked with people like Del Merrill and Pete Webb. And I've kind of dated myself, but I guess I would date myself if you knew I was involved in something for 50-something years. Anyway, my experience in basketball was a good one. I did coach at the college level, so I didn't stay in officiating. I was there for 17+ years, but then I moved, but I stayed with field hockey because it was a different season than when I was coaching. And again, the MPA asked me to sit on the first committee that developed field hockey as a state championship offering. And that was a tougher one to do. Basketball was real easy because they had boys basketball being run many years, many years, and everybody knew how to do it. But field hockey was a little different. So they asked me as part of the committee, they said, would you want to do, or would you be willing to do the heel points for field hockey? And I said, well, yes, I would, but I don't know much about it, and I don't really like math. And we didn't have many things that looked like calculators then, and we certainly had no computer programs. But anyway, I did learn the program. I did learn how to calculate it, and it was kind of scary because I would have to stay, I'd have to do that every day, and there was no release for the heel point system on a weekly basis. It was the end of the season. I would bring the statistics that I had done to the MPA, and they would approve it, and then we'd figure out who was in the tournament. So, but that was okay. I got it done. Then the next thing they asked me to do is if I could be the site director for the first championship, which was going to be held at the University of Maine, Orono. I said, oh, that's an easy one, because I'm at Hudson and I can shoot over there and help them out, get the fields ready, etc. So anyway, so we had the first championship, and I remember I said, this is a big thing. We're added field hockey. It's the first fall sport for women as a championship. We got to do it right. And I also, along with being the site director, they asked me if I thought I could be one of the officials. I said, well, yeah, I think I can. So I had the Class A game, and I remember it was Bonnie Eagle was there, and I can't remember the other team, but Faith Littlefield, who really was a person that won a multitude of state championships after that one, and she won it. And she was a tough person to handle on the sideline. And all my fellow officials down in Southern Maine would say, you don't want that game. Faith Littlefield is going to be awful on you. I said, I don't care. I'll do it. So I said, I'll make this real good pregame speech, which I was on the table side because Eastern Maine, I was there with Sue Weatherby, a seasoned official who I had worked many of University of Maine Orono games. And so I was doing the pregame, and I really said to the kids, you're lucky to be here. You're making history. It's a wonderful day. I said, you got great coaches that are experienced, and they were very experienced. And I said, and the one thing I'd like to have us do is I'd like to let the players play to the best of ability. And I know you can play because you wouldn't be here otherwise. And these coaches are seasoned and they know what they're doing. I said, and please let the officials run the game and do the rules. Okay, so that's the best I could do. And Faith said, I would like to say one thing. She said, this is a great historical moment for field hockey in the state of Maine. And one other thing, this is the first time I've ever been told to zip my mouth before I opened it. So we all had a good game, and it was a really good opportunity for people. I don't know where the time went. I worked a lot of state champions. I had championships. I had those committees I served on. I loved every minute of it. I never saw a weekend from, well, I think June to November. And then when we get done with the field hockey, we'd have our meetings and so forth and so on. But it was certainly a great run for me. I look back upon it and don't exactly know how I lasted as long as I did, but it was a great run. So, and I'm really pleased that, I have a great philosophy, I think, when it comes to athletics. And I think it's far beyond winning and losing. I think it's what you do with the kids, how you make contributions to them, so that in later life, they will learn from all their experiences they've had on the field or on the court. And I'm really thankful that the MPA came forth and offered all the activities they've had on both sides for boys and girls. And it was a great run for me. And I'd also like to say congratulations to all the other recipients, because I think when you're out there in the field working, you know what it takes. And it does take a lot of effort and energy. Thanks again to the MPA.
Thank you, Pam, and congratulations. The Maine Principals Association understands the motto, "It takes a village," and recognizes the tremendous number of hours that people around the state volunteer to help support Maine students. Because of this, we have the Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award in honor of Dr. Doringas, Assistant Executive Director of the Maine Principals Association, for 16 years of service. With us to honor tonight's recipient of the Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award is Dr. Doringas herself. Welcome, Phyllis.
Thank you very much, Paula, and good evening, everyone. For 28 years, since 1993, the Maine Principals Association has honored up to 2 outstanding adults each year who volunteer in our schools, our school districts, our communities, and our state with the Service to Maine Youth Award. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Martin Luther King Jr. said to an audience in Montgomery, Alabama in 1957. That question remains particularly relevant during this unpredictable time. Among the many painful and long-time challenges facing schools and neighbors in our communities are food insecurity and childhood hunger, both exacerbated by the pandemic. Across Maine and our nation, people have stepped up to address these problems with great passion and a true sense of mission. Tonight, during National Volunteer Month, I am truly honored to congratulate 2 remarkable volunteers, Chelsea Carrier from Skowhegan and John Thurston from Searsmont, who have acted to address the issues of food insecurity and childhood hunger in different and equally effective ways. And I have to say that when Holly sent me the papers, the nomination papers for both of these remarkable people, their work so touched my heart that it really brought tears to my eyes. And I feel very honored to have my name associated with theirs. So Thank you, Chelsea and John, and all of you engaged in public service for your dedication to Maine youth. You truly are a silver lining in the pandemic.
Thank you for your kind words, Phyllis. The first recipient of the 2021 Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award is John Thurston. Glenn Widmer, principal of Captain Albert Stevens School in Belfast, proudly nominated Mr. Thurston because of his significant contributions at Troy Howard Middle School, as well as Captain Albert Stevens School. John was responsible for much of the work in the creation of a thriving farm-to-school program at both schools. Upon retiring from his job as the garden coordinator at Troy Howard, John continued to donate hours of his time to working with youth, tending to the gardens at Troy Howard, and expanding his attention to a languishing garden at the local elementary school. Not only did he help out in the garden, but he frequently brought his cider press and the apples to the school to do cider pressing with all of the classrooms in the school. Most recently, John worked with Retree US and the planning and planting of a school orchard with apple, pear, and peach trees. According to the current garden coordinator at Troy Howard Middle School, David Wessels, John's compassionate, fun-loving, and no-nonsense style has been so valuable to young people. He has often brought them to the garden to fulfill community hours, cultivating a new generation of volunteers. On behalf of the Maine Principals Association, we are pleased to present John Thurston with the 2021 Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award. Congratulations and thank you for your service, John.
Thank you. Hello,
We can hear you just fine. Go right ahead.
can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Phyllis and the MPA, and especially Glenn Widmer for nominating me, as if Glenn has nothing better to do. Quite frankly, many others in the state volunteering at various schools also deserve this award. Three in particular who work tirelessly at Troy Howard Middle School are Sarah Crosby, Jan Nya, and Maura Hepner. Some of you may remember that Sarah was the very first principal of Troy Howard Middle School, and she's now giving back as a volunteer. Others like Pam Lance of the Manchester School in Wyndham and Ryan Parker working at the Etna Dickmont School literally make these school gardens work as volunteers. Farmers are also putting in time at schools. Mark Guzzi of Piecemeal Farms in Dixmont is a prime example. I volunteered with Mark and he's amazing. This leads one to wonder why volunteering at school gardens is so popular and important. We all love kids. We're fanatical about farming and gardening. More importantly, we all realize the impact school gardens have on students. I have students from Madomic Valley High School, where I taught horticulture, and Troy Howard Middle School still reach out to me and tell me how it was the best thing in their high school and middle school experience. Some say it literally saved them in middle school, and I can understand that because middle school is a very tough place. Others have caught the bug and have gardens of their own or have gone into the field of agriculture. I think as principals, you should not forget how school gardens fit into every aspect of the curriculum. They are wonderful teaching tools and should grow and be preserved. Some of you may have the time in summer to kill, although I really doubt it. If you do and want to help with summer garden maintenance at a school, please go to the website for the Maine School Garden Network. There's a list of Maine school gardens and they all need help to varying degrees. Thank you again.
Thank you and congratulations. The second recipient of the 2021 Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award is Chelsea Carrier. Chelsea was nominated by Bruce Mockmere, principal of Skowhegan Area High School. According to Mr. Mockmere, Chelsea became active in the district years ago when the students at Skowhegan Area High School and the Somerset Career and Technical Center decided to create a food pantry as part of the Skills USA program. The students connected with the Rotary Club, of which Chelsea is a member. Together, they not only helped with the food pantry, they also helped with the backpack program. Prior to the pandemic, students at SCTC packed 60 backpacks of food each week to go home with students. When the schools closed, Chelsea organized a group of community volunteers to collect all of the food from different pantries in the district and brought it to the school. Within a day, Chelsea helped organize a crew to pack and deliver 350 boxes of food to local families. Since this time, with Chelsea being able to obtain funding through the Rotary Club, the Masons, Good Shepherd Food Bank, New Balance, the John T. Gorman Foundation, and private donations, the backpack program has tripled in size and is now up to 180 bags each week. It is because of her hard work and dedication that 180 families who are food insecure know where their next meals are coming from. On behalf of the Maine Principals Association, we are pleased to present Chelsea Carrier with the 2021 Dr. Phyllis Doringas Service to Maine Youth Award. Congratulations and thank you for your service, Chelsea.
Good evening. Thank you so much for this award and recognition. I'm honored to be here and I really appreciate all the work that went into tonight. So a little bit of history. My children's district, MS 8054, has high food insecurity rates. The Skowhegan Food Backpack Program started about 5 years ago by now Commissioner of Economic Development, Heather Johnson. The program started with one school, Skowhegan Middle School. Over the next few years, we added Bloomfield Elementary School and Margaret Chase Smith School, covering grades 1 to 8 in Skowhegan. In 2018, the Somerset Career and Technical Center students, in combination with the Rotary Club, which I'm a member of, started the food pantry in the building. Prior to the pandemic, we were doing about 60 bags a week, as well as about 40 students a week at the SCTC pantry. Each food bag contains breakfast, lunch, dinner, fruits and veggies and snacks. We had to take into account balancing food contents, as well as making sure they're light enough that a first grader can carry them on the bus. Since the first day of school closed in mid-March of 2020, we realized that even if it was a temporary closure, children needed access to food while they were remote learning. Working with SCTC Director David Dorr and instructor Jeremy Bork, we, that first day, packed 350 bags and with our district's help, dropped them off at the students' homes. We realized quickly that this could not be a one-time distribution. These families needed more support. We combined forces with school nurse Stephanie Voter, who ran a similar program in Canaan and came up with a plan. From March to August, MS 8054 volunteer teachers and staff pack boxes and bag produce every 2 weeks. The next day, local community first responders, Maine State Police, Reddington Fairview EMS, Somerset Sheriff, Somerset Corrections, dispatchers, game wardens, Skowhegan Police Department and Fire Department all took turns loading the volunteer teacher and staff cars, and they were delivered to children's homes. We had previously partnered with Good Shepherd Food Bank as our main food supplier prior to the pandemic. We also received tons of local donations of product, funds, and manpower. We also, through Stephanie Voter, also worked with local towns that didn't have access to food pantries, providing them access to our Good Shepherd account and ordering so that different communities had access to food that they wouldn't normally have. Some of these families were already receiving food from the backpack program, but most were not. Many of these families didn't have access to food or transportation during the pandemic. Some were too embarrassed to seek help. We were able to provide them with large boxes of food and bags of toiletries delivered bi-weekly to their door. In the meantime, if a new family reached out, we would get them a box within 24 hours. Consistency and predictability were scarce during the pandemic, and food availability was at an all-time low, but our communities and children were fed with regular food distributions and a safe contactless drop-off. The list continued to grow and names were added, and by summer we had 300 families receiving 350 boxes of food, feeding over 700 children in our district. Again, this is on top of what our district was doing, feeding breakfast and lunch to all students delivered to their homes. Now that we're back in school, we're packing 180 bags and stocking the SCTC pantry. We've added North Elementary, Canaan Elementary, Marty Stevens Learning Center, and Millstream so that every school in our district now receives food support. We're a completely volunteer organization. We file for grants and fundraise to cover all of our costs. Anything that we need, our community steps up. Any support from the district, they jump in. We're constantly working to expand, diversify our food options, and grow our program. I got involved in this program as a parent and community member. I have 3 children that attend schools in the district, and I live and work in this town. The food bank has limited hours because of the pandemic, and many families are too embarrassed or don't have transportation to access that food pantry. I'm proud to live in a district and town where our community steps up to support feeding children. Special thanks to my husband, Peter, and my children, Braden, Parker, and Kinsley, who support my crazy ideas and time away during the pandemic on these projects. We have a really amazing team: Stephanie Voter, David Dorr, Jeremy Bork, and all of the MSAD 54 district staff. So I'm really pleased to accept this award on their behalf.
Congratulations, Chelsea, and thank you. Years ago, the Maine Principals Association's Secretary of the Year Award was created to recognize the outstanding work done by school secretaries and administrative assistants throughout the state. All school administrators know that the work they hope to accomplish and significant demands they need to meet would be impossible without the magic of our highly skilled and accomplished secretaries and administrative assistants. This evening, we are honoring a very special person. The recipient of the 2021 MPA Secretary of the Year Award is Rhonda Merrill, Secretary of the Etna Dixmont School in Etna. Ms. Merrill was nominated by almost every student and staff member at Etna Dixmont School. Here is a poem which was written and illustrated by students that sums up just how incredible Ms. Merrill is. Ms. Merrill, our super school secretary, dedicated to Ms. Merrill. Our school is so lucky to have you. You can do it all. Endless phone calls you will take. Endless deadlines you will make. Answering questions all day long, making sure nothing goes wrong. Your organization is beyond compare, knowing exactly what to find and where. Your smile reaches far and near and tells all they are welcome here. Thank you, Ms. Merrill, for all you do. We would be lost without you. Rhonda, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, I am pleased to present you with the award as Maine's 2021 Secretary of the Year. Congratulations, Rhonda.
Yep. First, I would like to thank the Etna Dixmont School students and staff for nominating me for this award. It is wonderful to be nominated. Receiving the award of the Secretary of the Year 2021 is a great honor. I have worked in the RSU 19 school district at the Etna Dixmont School for the past 13 years. Each and every day, I realize how all of our staff work hard to provide our students with the knowledge and skills that it takes that will help them to be successful. It takes the time, the patience, and the effort of many individuals to make this happen. All of us play a big role. Through collaborative and positive mindset, our entire staff, students, and parents and community members support each other to be the best that we can be. I am fortunate to be part of this tremendous support system, not only in my school, but throughout the district. I love working with all of our energetic and enthusiastic students. It makes every day so different and interesting. The teachers and I and staff members, they're all amazing here at the Etna Dixmont School. I'd like to give a special thank you to our school nurse, Nancy Hoskins, our social worker, Megan Baker, and our building principal, Jane Stewart. I can't imagine doing my job without them. Thank you for recognizing me tonight, and I appreciate everyone's kind words, and I look forward to a great end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda, and congratulations. Our next award this evening honors the NASSP Assistant Principal of the Year. This award recognizes the critical leadership role that the assistant principal plays in the areas of personal excellence, collaborative leadership, curriculum instruction and assessment, as well as personalization. The MPA presents the award in cooperation with the Assistant Principal of the Year program that is sponsored by the National Association of Secondary Schools Principals. Our 2021 Assistant Principal of the Year is Megan Hayes Teague, Interim Principal of Mount Ararat Middle School in Topsom. Mrs. Hayes Teague has received this award based on her work as a liaison to the community through programs such as the Parent Academy. This program has been timely as middle-level students go through such a period of change in their lives. She has partnered this work with revamping the school's vision and the Response to Behavior Intervention program through a collaborative, teacher-led approach by incorporating restorative practices and celebrating positive behavior building-wide. In announcing Mrs. Hayes Teague's selection as 2021 Maine's NASSP Assistant Principal of the Year, MPA Executive Director Holly Couturier noted, the MPA is pleased to recognize Megan Hayes Teague as the MPA NASSP Assistant Principal of the Year. She was nominated for this recognition and started the 2021 school year as Assistant Principal of Mount Ararat Middle School. And the fact that she stepped up to take the interim principalship demonstrates the true leader and team player that she is at the school. Mrs. Hayes Teague is a true educational leader, one that leverages positive relationships with students and staff to bring innovative changes to her school community. Mrs. Hayes Teague earned her Artium Baccalaureate in Classics and Archaeology with a minor in education in 2001 from Bowdoin College. After this, she obtained her Master of Studies in Mathematics from the University of New Hampshire in 2009. Most recently, in 2013, she completed her Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies in Advanced Educational Leadership from the University of New England. Mrs. Hayes Teague began her educational career in 2007 as a mathematics instructor at Richmond High School, where she stayed for 6 years. From there, she moved into the assistant principal role for the Monmouth School District. And in 2015, she was hired as the assistant principal at Mount Ararat Middle School, where in October of 2020, she took on the interim principal position for the remainder of the school year. Megan, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, I am pleased to present you with Maine's 2021 NASSP Assistant Principal Award of the Year.
Good evening. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Maine Principals Association for this tremendous honor. I am grateful and humbled to be named Maine's 2021 NASSP Assistant Principal of the Year. I know that I wouldn't be in this position today without the support of my school and community. I am very thankful to work for MSAD 75 at Mount Ararat Middle School in Topsom, Maine. I owe so much to the students, families, teachers, and staff in my district. I want to thank Dr. Josh Otto, former principal at Mount Ararat Middle School, for his support and guidance and for nominating me for this award. I want to also thank Superintendent Sean Shabbat, Interim Superintendent Bob Lucy, and Assistant Superintendent Amanda Hersey for their advice and belief in me. I would also like to thank the administrators that I have worked with throughout my career, including Deborah Fisk, Rick Amaro, and Deborah Emery. When I became a teacher 20 years ago, I never dreamed of becoming an assistant principal. In fact, I think at one point I planned to never be an assistant principal. Their encouragement changed how I saw the role and how I saw myself. Being an assistant principal has allowed me to be an agent for positive change, broadening my scope of influence from the few students in my class to all students within a school. I am forever grateful to have had this opportunity. Finally, I would like to thank my friends and family, especially my husband, Chris. To my daughters, Audrey and Maeve, I work hard every day with the goal of being a good role model and making you proud. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Megan. Our next award this evening honors the NAESP National Outstanding Assistant Principal. This award recognizes the critical leadership role that the assistant principal plays in the areas of personal excellence, collaborative leadership, curriculum, instruction, and assessment and personalization. The MPA presents the award in cooperation with the National Outstanding Assistant Principal Program that is sponsored by the National Association of Elementary School Principals, NAESP. Our 2021 National Outstanding Assistant Principal is Jessica Dyer, Assistant Principal of Ridgeview Community School in Dexter. Ms. Dyer has received this award based on her incredible passion and dedication for her school community. This is demonstrated by the relationship she builds within and beyond the school building. Her work to use social media to stay connected to parents and families during the pandemic helped to maintain a connection to the school. In announcing Ms. Dyer's selection as 2021 Maine's NAESP National Outstanding Assistant Principal of the Year, MPA Executive Director of the Professional Division, Holly Coutier, noted the Maine and the MPA is pleased to recognize Jessica Dyer as the MPA NAESP National Outstanding Assistant Principal of the Year. Her leadership and laser focus on advocating, nurturing, and sustaining a school culture conducive to student learning and professional growth are the epitome of what we expect in those of an assistant principalship. Ms. Dyer received her Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education in 1997 from Keene State College. Then she went on to earn her Master's of Education in Educational Leadership from the University of Maine in 2013. She began her educational career as a kindergarten teacher in Palmyra Consolidated School in 1997. She then moved to the Hartford Consolidated School, where she was a pre-K, then first grade teacher from 1998 to 2014. Since then, Ms. Dyer has been proud assistant principal of Ridgeview Community School in Dexter. Jessica, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, I am pleased to present you with Maine's 2021 NAESP National Outstanding Principal Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It still feels awkward to hear it, even though it's been a few months. I want to say thank you to the MPA for this incredible honor. To say that I was surprised and humbled is an understatement. So many have mentioned the pandemic. The time since the pandemic began in March of 2020 has been the most challenging in my career. I remember feelings of excitement, joy, and exhaustion on September 2nd of 2020 when we welcomed children back into our building after 6 long months apart. That morning made every second of hard work and lost sleep worth it. If you ask any educator, they will tell you that they didn't want to become a teacher so they could sit in front of a computer screen. We became teachers because we love spending time with children. I always tell people that the kids are the fun and the best part of this job. 3 days ago, we took the next big step and organized the return of every student to in-person 5-day-a-week learning. Yet another great day in my career. I'm thankful and grateful to the teachers, the educational technicians, food service staff, bus drivers, social workers, my fellow administrators, school board, and our amazing school nurse for helping forge that path to a successful return to in-person learning. Most importantly, though, I need to thank the students, for without them, I definitely wouldn't be here and I wouldn't want to be. During this nomination process, I was asked, if we came into your school and asked your students to describe you, what would they say? My answer was that the first thing they would probably say is, she loves things that are sparkly and is kind of loud. But then I suspect they would add that they know I love them and that I make them feel safe when they're here at school. In a rural community further isolated by the global pandemic, the school leader is the center and heart of that community. I hope that in the future, people will remember my dedication to not only the students and staff of our school, but to the community as a whole. To other administrators or teaching staff that might be listening to these words, thank you for your dedication and perseverance in these very, very difficult and different times. You cannot know in this moment the positive impact you are making on the children and families you have dedicated your lives to. You've demonstrated and taught our kids to be resilient. Don't give up on those students that are most prickly. They need you now more than ever. Be ready for that vacation week email when a student lets you know they're worried for a schoolmate. That happened to me just last week. That student chose you because they see your trust and dedication. I believe days are coming where we will be able to see students unmasked and can freely hug those craving our physical show of compassion. As I said earlier, this year has been a year like no other. Thank you for taking the time to log on this evening and for this incredible honor. It is so very much appreciated.
Thank you and congratulations, Jessica. Our next award this evening honors an outstanding principal in a Maine elementary school and is given in conjunction with the National Association for Elementary School Principals, NAESP, National Distinguished Principal of the Year program. This award recognizes an outstanding elementary principal for effective leadership, a commitment to academic excellence, high expectations and standards, creating a culture that supports learning, and contributions to the profession and community service. This year, the recipient of Maine's NAESP National Distinguished Principal Award is Christy Clark, principal of Halldale Elementary School in Hollowell. Mrs. Clark receives this award because of her enthusiasm and passion for her work. Her energy is palpable. She has a clear mission for Halldale Elementary, which is to provide every child with an equitable experience to ensure success. Christy's classroom is the whole school because she has the heart of a teacher. And announcing Mrs. Clark's selection as 2021 Maine's NAESP National Distinguished Principal, MPA Executive Director of the Professional Division, Dr. Holly Couturier, noted, Principal Clark is not just a principal. Educating children is who she is to the core. Her energy and enthusiasm are contagious, and she is a true advocate for education. Mrs. Clark attended the University of Maine at Farmington, where she graduated cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education in 1991. She then attended Walden University, where she graduated in 2003 with a Master of Science degree in elementary reading and literacy. She began her education career as a grades 1-2 looping teacher at Montello Elementary School in Lewiston. In 2011, she started her leadership journey as assistant principal at the Geiger Elementary School. After this, she was the director for English language learners for the Lewiston School Department. In 2014, Mrs. Clark was named the principal of the James B. Longley Elementary School, also in Lewiston, where she stayed until becoming the principal of Halldale Elementary School in 2018. Mrs. Clark was a Teacher of the Year nominee in 2001 and received Milken National Education Award in 2010. Christy, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, I am pleased to present you with the award for Maine's 2021 National Distinguished Principal.
Good evening, everyone. I too would like to congratulate all of the honorees this evening. I have enjoyed listening to your stories, and thank you for all you do for Maine students. I'm so very grateful for this incredible honor. And I'd like to start by thanking my husband for his continued love and support. As we all know, principals work very long hours and many nights and weekends are spent tied up with schoolwork or other related activities. He understands my last minute schedule changes and listens intently when I share story after story after story about the exciting things happening in my school. He values the work I do and understands that it isn't a job for me. It is who I am to the core. And he is one of my biggest fans. I would not be the educator I am today without him. I also would like to thank my two sons. They are adults now, but not a day goes by that I don't strive to be the best I can be to make them proud. Thank you to my parents who instilled in me the drive to work really hard and follow my dreams, no matter what challenges may come. I'd also like to thank my Superintendent Arnold and the RSU2 Board of Directors for their ongoing support and the opportunity to work in a fantastic district of RSU2. I also would like to say thank you to my administration colleagues, principals and directors for your continued friendship and many laughs. Like Jessica mentioned a few minutes ago, this year has been really difficult, and if it weren't for my colleagues at the admin level and their support and friendship, I don't know if we would have made it. We spent many hours together in Zoom meetings over the last year and have had to make so many difficult decisions based on what we felt was best for our individual schools and district. And I value every one of them and feel very blessed to work with them. I'd also like to thank my dedicated staff. This certainly has been a year like no other. Last summer, when we had to completely restructure school in order to open for in-person learning, you stepped up, and together we were able to create a learning environment that kept our students safe, connected, and engaged. Thank you for your endless commitment and willingness to always go the extra mile for our kids. And it's because of you that I am able to shine and be the leader that I can be. Thank you to my Halldale Elementary School parents and families. It is truly a privilege being your principal. It is a job that I take very seriously, and I appreciate your ongoing engagement and support. And together we have created an outstanding school. Thank you to Dr. Holly Couturier, the Maine Principal Association and the National Association of Elementary School Principals, for this wonderful recognition and award ceremony tonight. And finally, I would like to thank the people who really deserve this award, my students. They're the reason I do what I do. They deserve the very best. And I am honored to accept this award on behalf of my entire Halldale School community. I am blessed to be their principal. And here is the really amazing plaque that will be hanging in the office tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you, Christy, and congratulations once again. Finally, this evening, we celebrate an outstanding principal in a Maine secondary school. This award is presented in conjunction with the National Principal of the Year program, sponsored by the National Association of Secondary School Principals. This award recognizes personal excellence, as well as outstanding work in the areas of collaborative leadership, curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and personalization. In sum, the recipient of this award focuses on providing high-quality learning opportunities for all students. This year, the honoree for the Secondary School Principal of the Year is Jamie Stone, principal of Camden Rockport Middle School in Camden. Mrs. Stone received the award because of her extensive network of innovative community partnerships and her project-based learning vision. She has an unfailing commitment to high expectations for her students while being fully committed in supporting and collaborating with her staff and her community. In announcing Mrs. Stone's selection as the 2021 Maine NASSP Principal of the Year, MPA Executive Director of the Professional Division, Dr. Holly Couturier, noted, Principal Stone has a comprehensive and systemic communication style that includes all stakeholders. She is a progressive and caring leader committed to creating a successful environment where teachers, leaders, and students can thrive academically and emotionally. Mrs. Stone received her Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education from the University of Maine, Orono, in 1998. She then went on to Johns Hopkins University, where in 2006, she obtained her Master's in Administration and Supervision degree. She began her educational career as an 8th grade teacher, as well as being the athletic director and basketball coach at Sedgwick Elementary School in 1998. From there, she moved to Queen Anne Private School in Prince George's County, Maryland, where she was the middle school math and social studies teacher in 1999. She then became the academic manager and career counselor teacher before becoming the director of academic and career exploration programs, founding math teacher in 2002. For 7 years, she was an educational consultant in Maryland and then was a Mid-Atlantic and national school designer for expeditionary learning schools. She began her administrative career in 2009 when she became a middle and elementary school principal before moving to Maine and becoming the principal of Camden Rockport Middle School in 2014, a position she continues to proudly serve today. In 2016, Mrs. Stone received the the New England Education League of Middle Schools A+ Administrator Award. Jamie, on behalf of the Maine Principals Association, I am pleased to present you with this award as Maine's 2021 Principal of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I want to thank the Maine Principal Association for choosing me for this amazing award and opportunity to represent the state of Maine in the coming year. I'm truly humbled by this recognition and proud of the work and education that I see all around the state of Maine. This year has been exceptional. And we've been really fortunate to be able to have our students all year in person and some remote, and that's been a gift for us for sure. So thank you as I get to join all these other amazing educators this evening. I want to give a big thank you to my friends and family, especially my husband and daughters, for all their support and sacrifices as they help me navigate life as a good school leader while striving to keep those I love at the forefront of my life. And to all the staff and students and parents in Camden Rockport School District, thank you for creating an awesome place to work every day. This award is truly deserving for our entire community. I decided to offer up kind of a good old-fashioned thank you speech combined with one of my biggest lessons learned in good leadership, and that is to surround yourself with passionate and positive people. This year has been very hard in schools and life in general, and we really need an opportunity to buoy our hope and collective energy as we move forward. Looking back at the past 23 years of my career, I laughed when I thought about the fact that I've been in school for over 40 years. You know, you go to school as an educator every day. And I've been impacted by so many amazing educators and leaders and people during that time. And it's not a coincidence that my closest influencers work in or with schools, or I met them through my work in schools. I travel with a crew of people who care deeply for children and, even more importantly, about creating a great world for us to live in. And we work hard to lift each other up and keep each other going, believing we can create outstanding schools and just a great world. And we're very aware that the children that we have served, the thousands we've all worked with, we love deeply, influence us as much as we influence them. And they are the ones who will care for us, set the stage for our future generations, and they will decide how to care for us and care for the earth as we grow old. We have really important work to keep doing with such a heavy lift of caring for our children and setting the future. And so when the emails pile up and the paperwork's falling behind, or parents maybe have just had it with us, I think it's really important to remember our purpose and the why of our work and the network of people marching with us. These powerful people in my network teach kindness and compassion, and they walk their talk in life. They strive to create a world where diversity is expected and celebrated, and where everyone is valued and cared for. I know this sounds ideal and maybe even impossible on some of our hardest days, but if you were to tell that to any of these influencers in my life, that the goals are too lofty or too idealistic, I think they would shrug you off and continue to plow ahead. This hope and relentless belief that we can make things better, and each and every day, it's our fuel. And this award is for all of you who have poured love and life into me through your leadership and these lessons. You are truly the reason I am here tonight, and you've taught me how to see the long view and a better view. So I'm really saying thank you to all of those friends and family members and colleagues in Maine and Baltimore, Philadelphia, DC, Colorado, where I've had the opportunity to do work with some amazing people. You have helped me become the person I am today. I'm also sharing some words of wisdom to all that might hear tonight's messages. Surround yourself with positive influencers, these people who have relentless passion for the work you believe in and the life you hope to lead. Maine is filled with great people. The Yankee ingenuity and creativity and Maine grit is all around us. And now with our Zoom expertise, we can reach out across the country and create an even larger network. Find the people who believe that you can and that they can and that we can, because we are doing really meaningful and good work that truly matters. In good times and in hard times, it's important to remember your strength and your sphere of influence, and join me as we move forward with hope and tenacity for a better tomorrow each and every day. Thank you for this award and the opportunity to lift us up and move forward together. Thank you. I'll share my beautiful award. Thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations, Jamie. Thank you all for joining us this memorable evening. Stay safe, and thank you all again for your leadership and all that you do for Maine schools and students. We are so proud of all of you. Have a good night and good luck with the end of your school year. Take care, everyone.